Welcome to Sao Paulo, Brazil, where Nicolas Palomino is on pole from Daf Sanchez and Hugh Cable. Revo starts fourth from fellow championship rival Remy LeBeau and Verstio. Then it's Daniel Baltasar from the Red Devil and Awful Catfish. Linus Eriksson rounds out the top 10 from Casper LeBeau and Onkro Ezra. Your Puff is 13th from your boy and Inet Davinas Jr. Then it's Marcus Nelson, Zygmunt, Charles Hernandez, Sebastian Ocampo down in 19th, Gonzalez Kynes, David 12, and then on cue. In Season 4 of IndyCar, Nicolas Palomino took his first IndyCar Series win. Can he do the same in Formula E? All 5 lights go on, and we are underway in round 6 of the ERL Formula E Series, and it's a good start there from Daf Sanchez, who has the inside line, trying to go side by side with Nicolas Palomino coming through the center S's, and you know what? He'll hold on to the position. That's the race lead for the number 72 as they head down into turn number 4. Revo's moved up into third, drops down to fourth behind his former teammate when these two were teammates, Hugh Cable and Revo. He saw each other take some very great finishes, but the greatest was Hugh Cable's round 4 race win in Season 1. He'd like to repeat that today, but he's still being hounded by that hyperdrive number 7. The 72 holding on to the race lead, holding off his fellow ERL US Series champion. Looks like Palomino is either going to make the move on track or in the pits to win his first Formula E race. Coming through the final few corners as we look back with that Sims Red Bull, which is likely going to have a new livery for race 7. Here comes Revo going down the main straight. It's one of the shortest laps, that's why we have 17 of them. There goes the number 7 back up into the podium positions as Attack Motors back online for lap number 2 of 17. The rear wing wide open for Nicolas Palomino as he closes up to Daf Sanchez, who sets the new fastest opening sector, a 16.733. This is one of those tracks on the ERL schedule that's always seen lap times go quite a way underneath 1 minute. And we're likely going to see something similar today as Babinis Jr. gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Zygmunt now on the back of the Mercedes driver. As you can see, Casper LeBeau beating and banging and roughing it up with the Mercedes man as they rise through the final few corners. That 72 holding on to the lead quite well. I'm kind of slightly disappointed that we don't have attack mode running through most of Sector 3 because it could lead to such an amazing dive bomb overtake coming through the center S's as we begin lap 3, and Remy LeBeau's got the fastest lap. We're already in the 59s. We usually hit the 57s by this point. And OQ getting a 5-second time penalty. He's slicing his way through the field up into 18th as there goes Nicolas Palomino with the lunge and the move past his own fellow ERL Series champion. Lost my words for a second there as Sanchez reclaims that race lead from Nicolas Palomino, who's going to have to regroup and look at a different way to take the position. Awful Catfish getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. As now he has to hold it side by side with Charles Hernandez, or will he make the lunge on Your Puff? You'll bet he'll get past the 9 car. But he just can't hold on to it just yet, not quite yet. And it's going down onto the main straight one more time. And we've got cars coming to the pits already. The 2 title rivals, Remy LeBeau and Revo, both in at the end of this lap. Casper LeBeau, who finds himself second in points, he stays out. I wonder if Amlin and Aguirre actually see themselves as real title threats. I mean, in their return season, I'm betting that they only saw a podium on their card. A race win and a shot at the championship this early on. Likely not something that they would have expected, but that's something that's happening. And for Casper LeBeau, this is actually a very good run of form across all 3 ERL categories for him. When he announced that he was going to do all 3 categories, many people thought, well, he's just going to flounder in all 3 of them, but no. He leads the FG Series standings. He's joint second in Formula E and outright second in Champ Car. We might be seeing one of the greatest drivers in the Electric Racing League making their second series appearances into the pits there for Daf Sanchez, Nicolas Palomino, Cable, and a lot of other drivers. Linus Eriksson now leads those 5-lap old soft compound tires at 25%, so 75% gone over the course of 5 laps. You gonna do the maths on that? Because I sure as heck won't. I don't have a calculator on me. But my estimate for that is about 15-ish% lost over the course of 1 lap. 15-ish% per lap. As there it goes, going side by side and past Marcus Nelson, who gets a time penalty for colliding with his fellow one-time Formula E champion. There goes the 9, muscling his way back past his fellow Formula E champion. They're still dueling further up, and in terms of all the drivers who have made a pit stop, it's Remy LeBeau who actually finds himself leading. This is great for his championship challenge, you know? He needs some good results here. Last time out, he absolutely fumbled the opportunity to leave Rome as the series leader, and he left it 5 points behind Revo. He came into it 1 point behind Revo. He lost 4 points, and his son was able to close up into 2nd place. And Sigmund now has the fastest lap, and Marcus Nelson leads this race. This is definitely going to be a very interesting position for Sims Motorsport. Verse Theo, at his home race, finds himself running in a net P3. Revo going side by side with Oinkro Ezra, and whatever has happened to Daf Sanchez coming out of pit lane has hit him quite badly, because he is now down in 9th and outside of the race-winning shot. Must have been held down at pit lane, as we're still on board with the number 7. And that's the problem with having the first pit box here in Sao Paulo. Considering how short the lap is, many drivers are going to be coming into the pits at roughly the same time. So even if your pit stop is done, you're going to have to let the entire field go by. And there goes Revo past Oinkro Ezra. The points leader, he's not down and out quite yet, as in comes Marcus Nelson. Palomino's got pace here. He's going to get attack mode on his teammate. This could just be a Red Bull Sims dogfight here, as David 12 gets a new fastest lap at 59.349. With 10 laps to go, can Remy LeBeau, in that blue and black helmet, can he take victory over his teammate? Either way, this is going to see Remy LeBeau take the lead in points if it were to finish as is. Even if he would drop down to 2nd, it would be a 1-point lead in his favor. His teammate, however, he's not interested in the championship challenge just yet. He just needs to win. He's had a terrible lack of fortune so far in both of his ventures in the ERL. In both Champ Car and Formula E, he's suffered multiple DNFs as he was caught with a time penalty for causing a collision with Charles Hernandez. In comes the 26 after 3 laps on the set of softs. Okay, so the team's not very happy with running 3 laps there. You have to run 3 laps with Palomino and Verse Theo either way. Another set of softs going on to Remy LeBeau's car. Likely just going hard and loose with that 26, trying to do as much beating, banging, and roughing him up as possible. And that 38 of Verse Theo, I don't think it's ever looked this calm, you know? That Amlin Aguirre seems wonderful to drive in race trim. In qualifying trim, we've seen it's here or there, but for Verse Theo, this is a brilliant time to go after a race win. A potential 2nd in his ERL career. He's going side by side with Nicholas Palomino, rounding through the final corners. If they both come in, they'll be coming in side by side. Verse Theo was ahead at pit entry. He's ahead as they all dive down into pit lane. It's a hyperdrive 1-2 now at roughly half race distance. Revo leads from Sanchez and the Red Devil. Casper LeBeau in 4th. He's hoping for a full course caution by the time he makes his way into the final few corners. I feel like it should be very easy to see why a driver would want that, as Sanchez is going side by side with his teammate in that 7. It's 7 versus 72. We've seen this before when they were not teammates, mostly when Revo at hyperdrive. Sanchez at Andretti. Looks to the outside. Can't make the pass there for the Season 5 Champ Car World Series champion. And Remy LeBeau actually quite a ways in front of his teammate Verstio, holding on to that advantage he had when coming down into pit lane. He's in front of Nicholas Palomino. After coming in, we could see one of these hyperdrives come into pit lane, and it's going to be Revo. So Sanchez holds on to the lead here on lap 10. Casper and the Red Devil both into the pits. Ocampo comes in as well, as that's a poor release for the 7 car. Remy LeBeau leads all of the drivers who have had their most recent stop. And he stopped Marcus Nelson right behind him. That 13 Andretti Autosport car hasn't had the greatest of seasons. In fact, he's in the bottom few positions in the championship. Awful Catfish makes the lunge, moves up into 7th place in front of Carlos Kynes. And if you would like to help out any of these drivers to try and take a potential race win come season's end, well, you can vote for them in the Fan Boost poll, which will be linked in the description of this race, the description of the Champ Car race as well, the pinned message and the pinned comment. The pinned message, if you're watching in the premiere, as there goes Palomino up into 4th. He can see his teammate in front of him, but he's going to have to do a little more to chase after him. He's left Verstio for dust, and will he come in? Yes. Remy LeBeau comes in for his 3rd stop as Yua Puff dives down into pit lane. Sanchez might be able to skip a pit stop here and maintain a 5-second advantage over Palomino and Verstio. And if he can't maintain that advantage, we are on course for one of the most popular podiums in Sao Paulo history. The first race win for this man, Nicholas Palomino, and in fact his 2nd in the ERL, both came here in Brazil, in IndyCar and then later Champ Car in seasons 4 and 5. Verstio, Brazilian driver. The fans are still going crazy down at the main straight to see their man in the top 3. For U-Cable, he took his first career victory here back in season 1, driving for Next TV. There are so many storylines for the men 2nd through 4th, not just if they can make it to the podium, but if they can win. They're already legends here in Brazil. As in comes Daf Sanchez. Mediums going on. Don't be surprised if we see the intermediates. Ericsson, Ezra, and Awful Catfish all into the pits as an Inoki send off. Ooh! Ooh, that's a big one! That's a big one! Sigmund. Oh no! Inoki just ran into the back of Charles Hernandez into the pits for Inoki. Babinas Jr. and oh, that's why. That explains it. Front puncture for Zygmunt. Doesn't look like it was due to overuse. Must have run over some damage. And by the time he was caught by Inoki, it was way too late. And now Yua Puff has some damage to that Jaguar Martini, but the lasting damage for him is going to be that time penalty. As Oink Pro Ezra looking for a way to get past Catfish, who makes the lunge on his fellow Sims Motorsport champion, Remy LeBeau. Can't make the pass work though. And Palomino comes in for his 3rd stop. Medium's going on for what will likely be his final stop in this race. But the question is that a smart decision to come in at this stage? Because with the clouds being as they are, the teams are looking at the radars. Obviously, Sims saw it's likely safe enough to come in, even if it rains. It will be in the final few races when no one's going to be able to come into the pits anyway. So it was likely just a smart decision to stay out. And for Verstio, he's hounding the back of U-Cable. He wants to lead. He wants to win. And if he can get past and make the overcut work rather, then he might have this race win locked up. It could be one of the greatest wins for any driver in the ERL. It would be Verstio's 2nd, his 1st on pure pace. As we round through the final few corners into the pits. For the top 2, does Revo come in? No, he's going to stay out for lap 14 of 17. He's looking for the points lead today. Casper LeBeau looks to well and truly overtake his dad. And 12 has come back from 21st on the grid to 3rd right now for Casper LeBeau, and in fact the LeBeau duo, as tyres looking to reach the end of their lifespan for those two. I would wager that the relationship down and at the LeBeau duo, the father-son duo that is less of a Dale Senior, Dale Junior, and more of a Dale, more of a Ralph Earnhardt, Dale Senior mentality. That is, Remy LeBeau is a great driver. He's going to go down as one of the legends of the ERL. Casper LeBeau will go down as the legend of the ERL if he continues with the performances that he's shown us. In the second half of each season, it seems like he really begins to pop off. In comes Revo. Casper LeBeau follows him in. It's the only thing that those guys can do. 12 also into the pits, and on lap 15, Palomino has quite some work to do if he's going to take victory today. He's 4 seconds off of Daf Sanchez here in Brazil. If Sanchez stays out, which Palomino will love to see, I think the tyres will catch up to the number 76 before the 93 does, in which case, if he can just continue with this pace and potentially even just go faster, this could be his race win. 4 lap old mediums right now say 36%, and that's a slow moving U-Cable who's got a front puncher. Front puncher for U-Cable. He had been running so good in this race, and Casper LeBeau's got into the back of him. Oh! Out of the race for the Red Devil and U-Cable. Both drivers thrusted out of this race. Major front wing damage for Casper LeBeau. That takes him out of contention and drops him down to 3rd in points. Surely, if his dad manages to score. And Daf Sanchez opts to stay out. That's bad news as they round the final corner to begin the penultimate lap. Linus Eriksson and Andretti Autosport are looking at a podium today with 3rd place. It's going to be an all Champ Car World Series champion podium. In fact, the top 3 in this race are the past 3 ERL USA champions. Season 5, Daf Sanchez. Season 4, Nicholas Palomino. Season 3, Linus Eriksson, and they're actually the only active IndyCar or Champ Car champions. But that gap out in front has shrunk. It's 7 tenths between Sanchez and Palomino. This is going to go to the line on the penultimate lap. Not even the final. This is brilliant news, not just for Sims Motorsport, but for Nicholas Palomino as well. He's already won once so far this season in London, but if he can win in Sao Paulo, his home ground, his happy hunting ground, it will mean so much more. He goes alongside with the Hyperdrive Racing man, and he moves to the lead on the penultimate lap in this amazing Sao Paulo ePrix. We begin the final lap here in Brazil. Sanchez has one more lap to try and hold on to any semblance of feelings of potentially winning today. He's on low tyre wear, 23%, something similar for Linus Eriksson, I'm sure, so we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled on them, and something similar for Babinus Jr. and Sigmund as well, near the back of the pack, but that will not impact these top 2. Sanchez is doing what he can to stay on the back of Palomino. Meanwhile, Verstio is trying to get another amazing podium for Amlin Aguirre. Fastest opening sector for Verstio in 6th, who's going to increase his points lead. I'm sorry, that was Revo in 6th. But coming through the final sector, Sanchez did what he could to hold off the Spaniard. But it's all Palomino in Brazil. Verstio's made his way up into 3rd. Nicholas Palomino wins again in season 27 here in Brazil. Verstio, the fans go wild. He takes up podium at home. And for Revo, 6th place. It's not the top 5 finish he would have wanted, but it's an extra 6 points in his championship hope as the 2 LeBeaus flounder a potential opportunity as Hernandez has a full car puncher coming to the line. Similar story for Sigmund and Babinus Jr. Casper LeBeau with that front wing damage. That's his first real mistake of the season! Ooh! You were puffed there. As we watch Zygmunt and Babinis Jr. come through the final corners. Guess who's back? Back again. Palomino's back. Tell your friends. A second Formula E win for Nicholas Palomino has hit the ERL Formula E series. Dav Sanchez did what he could to hold off the hard-charging Spaniard, but it wasn't enough. But second place, still a lot better than his recent output. And for Verse Theo, it's another show-stopping performance for Amlin Aguirre. And as for the rest of your finishers, Linus Eriksson, fourth, did what he could to hold on to a podium, but it just wasn't enough. Artful Catfish, fifth from Revo and Baltasar. Onkro Ezra is 8th from Marcus Nelson and David 12th. Then it's Sebastian Ocampo, Remy LeBeau, your boy, Salos Kynes, you are Puff, Charles Hernandez, Casper LeBeau after the time penalty was applied, and not Q, Zygmunt and Babinis Jr. with the Red Devil and U-Cable being the only non-finishers. In the championship, things are beginning to heat up in the fight for seconds, but out in front, Revo leads 13 points in front of Casper LeBeau and Remy LeBeau. Nicholas Palomino is 4th, 10 points behind the LeBeau duo. U-Cable, 2 points behind Palomino in 5th. Then it's Dav Sanchez versus Theo Catfish, the Red Devil, and You Are Puff. David 12 is 11th best of the rest. Then it's Zygmunt, Babinis Jr., Linus Eriksson, Oinkro Ezra, Anok Q, tied on points with Charles Hernandez. Then it's Baltasar, Ocampo, Salos Kynes, Marcus Nelson, and your boy. In the Constructors standings, heading into the 7th round of the championship in Las Vegas, Nevada, Nord Hyperdrive take the leading points, 6 points up on Red Bull Sims Racing. Then it's Amlin Aguirre in 3rd with a very convincing 3rd place. Maybe they could go after the championship, in fact. Then it's Power Motorsport, Jaguar Martini, Rocket Venturi 12, Dragon Racing, Team Edams Renault, Mercedes EQ, Andretti Autosport, and Next EV TCR. That's Casper LeBeau's first non-score of the season. But he's still classified as second for some reason. Either way, we've just had an amazing day of racing so far. Palomino, his second points finish, and it comes home with a win. He's got 2 12ths, 2 DNFs, and 2 wins. Is he going to finish anywhere else? You're going to have to tune in to figure that out. Remember, you can vote for any of the 22 ERL Formula E drivers and any of the other 22 ERL Champ Car World Series drivers to get a speed boost in the final 3 rounds by voting for them in the description, the pinned comment, and the pinned message in the premiere. So from all of us here at Sparkplug Motorsport, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time then when the Electric Racing League returns.